is Cameron Carter, and today I will talk about icing and all the dangerous hazards that goes with that. Okay, so what exactly is icing? Well, basically icing is just any deposit or coating of ice on any object caused by impingement and freezing of liquid. And so, what factors must you take in when talking about icing on aircrafts? Here's some factors that you should take in. You have your particle size, particle concentration, which is how much icing is occurring in one area on the plane itself. The shape of your aircraft speed, how fast is it going, the environmental temperature outside, how cold is it outside, and your aircraft surface temperature, basically meaning your plane must be at least 0 degrees Celsius or colder for any icing to occur on the aircraft. And those are just some factors that you should take in when we're talking about icing on aircraft. Just an important note that I found off the internet is basically if an aircraft has been in an area where below freezing temperatures are, and then is located above freezing temperatures, the aircraft surface temperature can still remain below freezing, even though that it is in above freezing temperature areas. For example, like let's say you're departing from Denver, your plane's been in the cold, and then you're flying to Louisiana. Well, even if you get up in the sky, your plane's still going to be real cold because your plane was sitting out in below freezing temperatures. It's going to take some time for it to, heat up. And that's pretty much that. What all does icing affect, and how can it affect your aircraft? Here's some stuff that I found on the internet. When ice, collects, just keeps building up on the airplane, it can seriously hamper the function of not only your wings and your propellers and your control surfaces, but it can also affect every aspect of that plane in general as well. It can affect your windscreen, your canopy, your pitot tubes, radio antennas, static vents, carburetors, and even your air intake as well. I have a chart on here. It says how your lift, weight, thrust, and drag is affected as well. So when you have icing on your plane, your lift is decreased. Icing on your plane, your weight is increased. Thrust is decreased. Your drag is decreased. An excessive loss of lift will cause the aircraft to lose altitude, and the excessive weight of an aircraft will cause it to lose altitude as well. Excessive loss in thrust along with drag will cause your aircraft to lose airspeed and lift as well. Okay, so how does icing on your plane affect your aircraft? Well, ice on airplane wings will actually change the shape of your wing itself, and this will cause you to lose some lift on your aircraft. It even allows your plane to stall at higher speeds, which happens when the drag is higher than the actual lift itself is, and at critical angles of attack. And a big danger of this is, it's really hard to control your plane when you're in a constant stall. But however, planes are equipped with ways to eliminate ice, such as pneumatic tubes that can push the ice away. Okay, so icing on the propeller, how does it affect that? Well, besides the fact that one way to tell that there's something wrong is a slow loss of power, uh, but that's just one way to notice it. Ice customarily builds up unevenly on your blades as well. Uh, and the bad thing about this, obviously you don't want ice on the plane, but the bad thing is that the ice builds up. It tends to build unevenly, and which will cause vibrations. Uh, and vibrations over time will put some stress on your blades and your engine mount, and so this could lead to possible failure. Vibrations is not good in general. So ice also changes the your airfoil's cross section, destroys lift, increases drag, increases stalling speed. Okay, so your induction. How does this affect your induction? Okay, so induction system icing is real dangerous. Simply because it can cut off the flow of your fuel to air charge, your fuel to and vary the fuel to air ratio. Pretty bad stuff. Ice can form in the induction system while an aircraft is flying in a cloud, fog, rain, sleet, snow. Just pretty much just forms in any type of, I guess, moisture in air. I guess if it's a humid place, you're pretty likely to get encountering icing. And yeah, the reason this is so bad is because you need fuel and you need oxygen to fuel your fire, um, and you can't have just one without the other. Okay, so I found this interesting crash on the internet, and so on December 12th of 1985, uh, there was a flight that was transporting U.S. troops to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, from Egypt, and shortly after the takeoff, on shortly after the takeoff, uh, icing on the wings with a plane uh, caused the plane to go down, resulting in 256 fatalities, killing everyone inside. Um, and that was the primary cause of the accident. Um, the reason I talked about icing today, there's a lot of things that can go wrong in the sky, but this one was a real important one, in my opinion, to me, because it can one something so small could cause such a big problem. Uh, Take this for an example: 256 fatalities resulted from a little bit of icing on a humongous airplane that was transporting the United States troops, and that's the main reason I chose this for today. And that's my summary of icing on an aircraft. And thank you.